What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Just kind of want to go over some of my last thoughts about the Broncos game. There's a lot of heat that it seems like Brandon Staley's getting from this based upon why he played our starters and just kind of in general the outcome of the game. So let's just talk a little bit about it and we'll see how it goes here, guys. Once again, guys, James from Bolt Bros. Let's go. All right, guys. So, obviously, week 18, we're done. On to the playoffs. The thing about this game, it was funny when we were watching it. We kept saying, man, it just seemed like it's kind of more like a preseason game for us. It wasn't really like we were really trying to put all of our effort into it. We were just like basically playing the game because we kind of had to at that point. But it wasn't something that we were sitting there saying, hey, like we got to find a win. Now, my opinion, I feel like we should have won, and reason being is because I would like to be able to see 11-6 outcome of the season versus a 10-7 outcome of the season. Personally, in my opinion, that's what we should have done and gone for the win. I mean, it's not saying we weren't too far off. 3-point win. Once again, a victory for Vegas. If you look at the betting odds on this game, it ironically worked out that way. Anyways, yeah, with the game and everything like that. I mean, it wasn't a pretty game by any means. Obviously, there was some issues in criticizing about the game, specifically for Brandon Staley, why he played the starters. That is a very hot topic about it. And to me, when I came into this game, I was thinking, hey, look, let's just go ahead and get our starters to play for the first half of the game, basically, and then rest them for the second half, put Chase Daniels and everything out there too. The interesting thing about the post-game conference with Brandon Staley, he did point out, he's like, look, guys, we only had a certain amount of people that we could play on the field, by the way. We only had the ability to put 48 players active for the game. And that's just kind of what it is. Generally, you have 55 players on the active roster and only 48 eligible to play. And we just had to work with what we had. And so you got to think 48 players, obviously you got 11 on 11, both sides, offense, defense. And you kind of have to be able to put your guys out there too. Now, I guess, once again, the argument of it is that, hey, you could easily put in, a second string, third string type format of players who are going to play. But still, even to say our defensive line, if you looked late in the third going into the fourth, you started seeing like Moa out there and some of our backups basically on the field on the defensive line. And we're pretty thin on the defensive line in general, but all around, we just kind of had to do what we had to do. Now, I still feel, once again, Brandon Staley was doing the right thing, playing our starters to be able to keep things going as momentum-wise for our offense and such. Now, the big thing about this game, if you look at the stats, yeah, they did 400-plus yards on us. Honestly, Russell Wilson was just chucking the ball downfield as much as he possibly can and getting pretty lucky with some of those throws, in my opinion. But at the same side, we really didn't do that well on defense and everything too. I feel like we were kind of very off. We didn't really seem to be able to be very enthusiastic about the game because I think we already knew we had the 5th seed locked up. So our players are kind of mentally, I think, not fully checked in. And also on top of that, they did not want to have injuries too. Now, once again, the whole thing that's going on with Mike Williams and Joey Bosa and Kenneth Murray, Kenneth Murray got a stinger. Joey Bosa, they apparently say that he was wincing a little bit, possibly something to do with his groin. Hopefully he's going to be fine. Mike Williams, it sounds like it's back spasms. He did sound like it was having some issues of being able to get on the bus, and he needed help to be able to get on the bus to be able to, go home and get on the plane to be able to come back. So there's a lot of things that you kind of come from that you say, hey, look, like that's why we don't play our starters out there. But guys, there's a thing called momentum, and momentum is a big thing, and be able to try to find those little things that you might be able to do differently in the playoffs or basically get this offense going. How many times have we talked about how we need to find a way to be able to get this, offense going? Our defense has done a great job for a very, very good amount of time this season, actually on our whole win streak that we had, our 4-game win streak. So we've done a great job all around with our defense. Our offense has kind of just been our issue all around for us. So the big thing about it is that we are trying to be able to get an offense going with our starters, get things moving along, Keenan Allen being out there too, and I'll just point out to him, he kind of needed to be out there. He's had a lot of time that he's missed, and I think for him, it's good to be able to get his body conditioned. Justin Herbert backs basically the choice that the coaches decided to do. Same thing for Keenan Allen. He said, like, I needed to be out there. I needed to run around, and he played for quite a bit of the game too, to be honest, and played extremely well. By the way, I mean, he made some phenomenal catches, and he actually looked almost healthier than I've seen Keenan Allen in a very long time. A lot of yards after catch situation that he got. Great touchdown and everything too. One-handed touchdown. Phenomenal situation for him. But he's looking great. So personally, there's a side to it. I get it for everybody in the fan base. Hey, you don't want your starters to be injured. We did have some injuries. Not good to be able to have that look. But at the same side, it's about momentum, guys. Continuity. Trying to find a way to be able to elevate our offense to another level too. Now, once again, going back on this, we all know we had the 5th seed lock going in the game. We knew basically what was in front of us. It didn't matter if we win or lost, but there is that side of momentum, continuity, keeping your body conditioned to be able to go into the game next weekend on Saturday now that we know. So I think you have to kind of understand that if you rest your players, it's not generally a good thing. Now, once again, I did see something on the Twitterverse. Now, the internet never lies, right? But something I saw on Twitter that was kind of an interesting fact. When teams basically rest their players going into a playoff game, so say the week 18 game or week 17 game when we're a 16 game season, the winning percentage goes down to 33% winning percentage when they rest their starters going into a playoff situation. So kind of wild, but the stat of basically when they play their starters for their week, whatever, 18, 17 or whatever going into the playoffs, it jumps up about 50 points. So I think it was like 78% chance to be able to win the game. Look, everybody else in the league basically played their starters, by the way, guys. And so a lot of teams didn't just kind of give up. Now, other teams had different situations, Bills, Bengals, different situations. Ravens did have different situations. But at the same side, hey, it's about keeping the team continuity going. Keep the momentum going. Keep the things going to where you're playing your best players out there to be able to make sure that they are ready to go for the next game. So I have really no problem with that. You know, I think the thing is, though, my biggest problem is playing them for so long, bottom line. And that's a tough thing. Now, one thing I'm really going to point out here, too. We talked about this in one of our last, it was actually on our pregame for the Broncos game with Rich A from the Wild Wild West podcast. I pointed out that Gerald Everett and DeAndre Carter had some bonuses that are able to be made for this next game. So Gerald Everett needed to make, I think it was, let's see where it's at now. I think it was at roughly Gerald Everett needed to get 60 catches. He was at 55 at the time. He would have got $250K bonus. He was out there for a good portion of time to be able to see if he could do that. He missed it by 2 catches. One of them was a wide open catch, by the way, and he had a total of 5 targets in the game. So he could have had the opportunity to make it happen, but he dropped 2 passes or did not get 2 catches in the game. So that's a bummer to be able to hear that. But a good coach wants their players to get paid, right? And so I think there's a level that you kind of have to go out there and do it. Now, DeAndre Carter should be out there. He should have been kind of considered as the 2 or 3 position for our wide receivers. He did basically need to he'll get 100K with 45 receptions. He basically did end the season with 46 receptions. So he did get a 100K bonus there. He would have got another 100K if he got 550 yards. Missed that by 12 yards. So kind of crazy to see. But the thing is, though, a good coach wants their players to get paid. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because they think about the players. They make sure that the players are taken care of. They're making sure players do get to milestones. You go back to it, Austin Eckler, once again, we don't want Austin Eckler to get injured, but what did he do? He ended up getting the record for all-time reception leader for the Chargers as a running back, 107 catches. Phenomenal stat for him there. Justin Herbert, hey, now he is the leader for 101 touchdowns in the first 3 years. Has beat Dan Marino's all-time record for total touchdowns in 3 years. Amazing. These are things that why a coach would play players like this, because these guys do want to be able to win, obviously, but they also would love to be able to create history too. And either which way you do look at the risk as potentially getting injured, but at the same side, I guarantee all players would love to keep playing. I mean, there's not many games in an NFL career for these guys. And my opinion, these guys want to play regardless. But I'll go back to the game in general. I looked at it as these guys were just playing casual, not being too overly aggressive at all in this game. They kind of put it as like a preseason game just to kind of keep your body warm, keep your body going. And there were some great plays still too. Kyle Van Noy once again balled out. He got that batted pass down, which ended up getting Bash getting the pick. Phenomenal. I thought Bash was going to take that back. I thought he was going to house it. DeAndre Carter almost took one to the house too, by the way. It was just basically one small swipe of the foot that basically ended up tripping back a punt or a kick return for a touchdown. I thought he was going to take that one out. So once again, guys, it was a good game all around. Obviously the outcome isn't what we wanted, but at the same side, it didn't really matter too much for us. Now, going back to the Mike Williams injury, kind of tough to be able to see that, guys. I mean, you don't want to see that going, but it sounds like everything is going to be fine. Sounds like we will be getting Mike Williams back. Now, once again, as the week continues, we are working on a short week since our playoff game is going to be on a Sunday night. We basically primetime game for us too. Once again, another primetime game for us, guys. Exciting to be able to see. We are pretty healthy on this situation, guys. I'll do another video about playoffs later this week, probably on Wednesday. I will do that just to kind of talk about the whole AFC picture, kind of what it looks like, things that we'll be chatting about, and then hopefully we'll have a pregame, with another Jaguar podcast, or we'll just do a whole chat about the game. But bottom line, guys, we got some exciting things going on here with this team. We're very excited about this team. Now, I'm going to go one step further about why we played our starters here, guys. Bottom line, it's because we have 48 players here, guys, and that's purely it. We basically had to work with what we had to work with. Now, you could also say, okay, great. That's great to know that you have 48 players, but you still have, give or take 22 of those players are your starters. You still have a good amount of people that could go out there and play for the entirety of the game, and you don't have to put and risk injuries. I get it 100%, but I'm just going to key in on this, guys. It's about keeping momentum. It's about making sure everybody's good to go, dotting those I's, crossing those T's, making sure that we do look really, really good and ready for the playoffs. Bottom line. And I think bottom line, there were some milestones made this week. That's why some of these players were out there. It's about keeping continuity going. It's about keeping this team moving forward all around. Brandon Staley didn't seem very happy about talking with these reporters because I'm sure they were harping on him pretty heavily about this whole situation. But I'll say this. We're in the playoffs, guys. We're going against the Jaguars, which is going to be a very fun game. I think that's why we end up getting kind of more of a primetime slot. I was kind of joking very heavily about us potentially getting into the Sunday or Saturday morning 10 a.m. slot of some sort if they even had that, just because I don't think many people watch, but NBC was pretty much hyping that one. So it's going to be on NBC on Saturday night. And it's going to be a big game, guys. And I think it's perfect for us in the playoff scenarios because we are going to be playing in a little bit more warmer climate. And to be honest, it's exciting to be able to go out there and play this one. So I think it's exciting because both of these teams are very, very hot. I think they're both young teams and both young teams that could really do some damage in the playoffs. So I'm excited about it, guys. But basically, bottom line with this game, guys, moving on. We're going to the playoffs. We're playing against the Jags. It's going to be exciting to be able to watch. I am excited to be able to see Justin Herbert be Justin Herbert and see him as playoff Justin Herbert. And I expect a big, big game out of him. And he's just going to play on a whole new level. Go back to that Raiders game last year, guys. You saw what really happened with Justin Herbert. When we needed to make plays, he made plays. And I think that we'll do very well. Now, once again, even to say if we didn't have Mike Williams this game, Josh Palmer actually looked really good too. That 2-point conversion that he got from Chase Daniels late in the game yesterday, that was a phenomenal play. Joshua Palmer is starting to really, really open up quite a bit as a receiver for us. And I think that he is definitely ready to be that 2 guy for us. Now, Mike Williams not having him out there is a big, big loss for us if it does go that way. But I really think, based upon what I'm hearing, with back spasms, he should be totally fine for the game. It's going to be just put some ice packs on it, heat it up, go in the hot tub, get some massages, move things around. He'll be fine all around. So I think it'll be good based upon what they said. X-rays are fine. We'll see what the MRI says, but I think everything should be okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, guys. Hopefully Mike Williams will be ready for Saturday night. But I'm excited about this, guys. Let's just move on from this Broncos game. All around, I think that was just really kind of a showing, almost like a preseason game. There wasn't too much desire to be able to win the game. But bottom line, everybody's 0-0 now going into the playoffs. The records do not matter. Regular season records do not matter at this point. It's a brand new season. Now it's win or go home, boys. So excited for the game this weekend. Let's keep it going. Give me your guys' thoughts too about what we're thinking about with how this Broncos game went. I know we had a lot of comments in the post game about it, but bottom line, what are you guys' expectations for the playoffs coming up? I'm thinking it's going to be a great time to watch and a great time to be a Chargers fan. It's going to be exciting to be able to watch this one. So give me some of your guys' thoughts about Brandon Staley, kind of what he did for this game, playing our starters. And I know it's big topic all around, and we're getting a lot of comments on it too, but there's definitely two sides to this whole thing. And I think I really have no problem with it. I think just with the idea of playing him for so long is kind of the issue. But either which way, guys, appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Share, like, and comment on this video, and subscribe if you have not subscribed to our channel. But we always appreciate you guys. Thanks, guys. Let's go.